Hello, I'm Jeffrey Peterson, AFA MEC President at Alaska Airlines. Today is Thursday, May the 10th, 2012. We just finished up 3 days of negotiations at the DoubleTree Suites South Center. We TA'd 3 sections this time. That would be Section 24, General and Miscellaneous, in which we eliminated the Spanish Qualified program as it has not been utilized since its inception. However, in its place, we did establish a voluntary language training which would be offered at company discretion. The company agreed to provide at least one scanner at each terminal or concourse of every domicile in order for you to check in inside and outside security. In addition, we clarified in language that flight attendants are not required to wear their uniform while deadheading as long as they do not have a subsequent flying leg in the same duty period. So for instance, if you're on the last leg of a night and there's no more flying after that, you do not have to wear your uniform while you're deadheading. In Section 26, Association Security, the company agreed to reimburse flight attendants for their first month of union dues if the company does not turn the dues back on after a leave of absence. And the only caveat is that the flight attendant would simply have to tell the company that this is the case in order to be eligible for the reimbursement. In Section 28, Domciles, we achieved improved moving expenses as well as increased number of moving days, and we established a reconnaissance visit for the purposes of moving. We have secured an increased LAX co-terminal pay of $25. The current pay is $10, so that's quite a significant increase. The cap is $175 per month, and we also extended several protections to reserves. For if you have a show no go, you get the co-term pay, or if you have a cancellation or change to your schedule within 2 hours of report time, you still get the co-term pay. So this prevents you from the former situation that we have today where you would drive all the way out to a co-term and then find out last minute that you don't have a report and then don't get the co-term pay. So now you do, which is a good thing. We have also extended the current practice of including SkyWest and Horizon Airlines in the commuter policy, and that is true today under the vacancy bid side letter, and we've extended that indefinitely through negotiations. All right, and then on to some of our proposals. AFA opened on section number 11, which is the reserve section, and we gave the company a fairly groundbreaking proposal which overhauled the reserve system. It was a package proposal in which we opened on changed the number of days on call from 18 to 17, and that reserves can self-assign pairings, and that once they're given a pairing or self-assigned a pairing, that they have pairing ownership. So what that means is that you are not required to be contactable between the time that you get the pairing, either through assignment or self-assignment, and when you check in. So you're looking a little bit more like a line holder, and we believe this will be a good thing for reserves and improve their quality of life. In order to achieve some of these, we opened on eliminating the strict shift system. So that is, we eliminated the AM, PM, ER system and replaced that with a 24-hour call system. And I know that some of you might be thinking, okay, this doesn't sound like such a good deal, but bear me out for just a moment. In order to make this work for us, we still retain the ability to preference AM and PM and night flying. So we've added a third category. We think that this is a good thing for reserves to be able to say which category they would prefer to be in. Again, it's a preference. You're still 24-hour call, but you can prefer these. And in addition, for the LAX reserves, you can preference your co-term, and they will go out of LTFA order in order to satisfy your AM, PM night preference or your co-term preference, depending on if you're LA-based or not. There are several other provisions in this section that are also great improvements, such as being able to apply your airport standby duty time to your total duty day for purposes of double-out rest. So if you go over 12.5 hours, we're looking for the true double-out rest after 12.5, and several others. And I would encourage you to look at our update, our negotiations update that will be posted for more information. There's a lot more to this section. We know that there may be some questions about where we're going with this section, Just please be assured that we understand that there will be a lot of concerns about the 24-hour call system, but we truly believe that we will achieve these other pairing ownership, self-assignment, and the less days on call. If we can't get those, then we will go back to the table and go a completely different direction with the reserve section. So hang in there and we'll have more information as we go along. That's the end of the good news. The bad news is that the company opened on section number 32, the attendance policy, and it wasn't pretty. The company is looking to basically gut our attendance policy, and some of the items that they proposed is to remove no-shows from the attendance policy and to shift that over to the company's disciplinary system instead. They also opened on eliminating the annual point reduction, as well as requiring that you achieve a certain number of trips in a quarter to have the quarterly point reduction. And there are several others. There are a couple improvements that they offered, which would be increasing the number of points up to 14.5, but we do not believe that that's going to be sufficient in connection with some of the other changes. And that flight attendants can bank up to 6 points from the current 4. So that is actually a decent improvement there. We're probably very early in passing this proposal back and forth. We do have one of the better benefits in the industry, and we are not inclined to move too far off of our current attendance policy without need. So this is the beginning of, I'd say, a more contentious period in negotiations. It's to be expected. We are still progressing, but the talk at the table has turned a little bit more maybe tense at times, and we expect to hear more as we go forward. So please stay informed. Check out the Alaska Airlines Negotiations Facebook page or the Alaska MEC website at www.alaska.mec.org. And our next negotiation session will be on June the 10th, 11th, 12th, actually June 11th to the 14th, and the location is to be determined in just a few weeks.